Yes, I think it's now. Yes. Yes, so I believe it's audible now. Yes, it's audible? Yes. All right. So what I was saying is pre-COVID it was high, then in COVID it dropped down. After COVID, after post-COVID it started increasing. However, it has not yet reached the level that was there pre-COVID. So the government is having further initiatives within the tourism sector with respect to infrastructure. We will look at two schemes. One was the Swadesh Darshan scheme and the other was the Prasad scheme. So they have come up with like further push to those schemes, which is nothing but the infrastructure initiatives that the government is taking with respect to tourism is what we will discuss. We will also look at some of the numbers with respect to tourism sector. Next is the Gati Shakti cargo terminals and India's logistic transformation. So what is this Gati Shakti? What is Gati Shakti? So what is it? What is actually Gati Shakti? Is it a statue? Is it a road that we call Gati Shakti? What is this Gati Shakti? If it's a scheme, what is happening in this Gati Shakti? Okay, so basically Gati Shakti, also the name, it's also a name of a portal. Of course, it's a scheme and there is a Gati Shakti portal. Okay. So there is a Gati Shakti portal that is there. Now, why is this portal required? See, we have huge number of infrastructure projects that are going on. And the most important thing of an infrastructure project is planning of that infrastructure project and basically tracking the progress of it in order to ensure that there are no delays. Why? Because a delay in the infrastructure project is nothing but a cost to the company, to the government. If you need more time to create a project, it's more cost, right? So this portal basically tracks all the major infrastructure projects that are taking place in India, right? So it's an online dynamic portal which is going to track real-time progress of any single project. This creates synergy among the ministries. This ensures that efficiently the projects are created. Now under that you are now having the Gati Shakti cargo terminals. Cargo terminals means, what is a terminal? Terminal means the end of something. So cargo terminal. So a cargo is coming from somewhere, it is getting unloaded here, and from here it might be distributed at different places. So these are the cargo terminals that are coming under this. What are these cargo terminals going to do? It is going to increase the efficiency of the transportation logistics sector. We will see how this will ensure that the movement of the cargo or the goods that are being transferred is taking place at a higher efficiency is what we will see in this news. The third is the MS Sahu Committee for NPS reforms. What is NPS? Yes guys, what is NPS? It's the National Pension Scheme, right? So what reforms are we talking about? See, National Pension Scheme, the new pension scheme is what we call it. So earlier with respect to pension, there was the old pension scheme. It changed to the new pension scheme. Now we are talking about reforms in the new pension scheme. So from old to new, when you are changing, there would be some change. So we will see what was the concept in the old pension scheme, what will be the concept in the new, what was the concept or what is the concept in the new pension scheme, and why we want to have a reform. Because people are wanting to go back to the old pension scheme. So what is that in new pension scheme which is wanting the people to go back to old pension scheme is what we will see in this news. Next, the tax ramps scheme. Tax here is textile. So it is a scheme in the textile sector that we will talk about. In this we will study the concept like technical textiles. So you have seen textile, right? Now this shirt is nothing but a textile. But then you have a concept of technical textile. So what is the technical textile? All this and about the scheme is what we will see in this news. Next, very important, especially for your mains, also for your prelims, of course, the World Economic Forum's Global Risk Report. So the World Economic Forum has come up with its global risk report. What they do in this report is they assess the entire world, whichever countries they would have assessed, and they come out with the things that pose the highest risk in the world. So there will be certain risks which are risks to the entire world, number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there are country specific risks. So we will first see the risks that are there for the world, what are those risks, and then what are the risks that are specific to the Indian society. All right, so then let's get started with the very first news, India's tourism infrastructure initiatives. So the Ministry of Tourism is involved over here. So Ministry of Tourism, it reports mission mode implementation of flagship tourism schemes. Those two flagship tourism schemes that we will see, one is your Swadesh Darshan scheme and the other flagship scheme is the Prasad scheme that we will talk about. Right. So what they are doing is they are coming up with the concept of mission mode implementation. What is this mission mode concept? See, if some of you would have worked in any industry, they come up with a concept of we need to do this on mission mode. Mission mode means don't rest until this is done. On war footing, specifically, this is being dragging on since so long. Now in the mission mode, next week we will implement this entire project. So that is the concept of mission mode, wherein you will be focusing, you forget everything else, you focus on it, you complete it. That is what a mission mode is all about. Okay? So the government has started focusing this on a mission mode, and with respect to the implementation of the scheme, the focus is on infrastructure. Next, destination development. Destination development means in tourism, you will be going to certain place. Now, when you are going to certain place, that place should also have a capacity to cater to the tourists. Is that clear? You might see a lot of clips wherein there is a long weekend. Now, there is a long weekend, Saturday, Sunday and Monday is 26th January. It's a long weekend. Now, if in such long weekend, you go to the outskirts of Bengaluru, there are amazing places around Bengaluru. If you go to such places, you will find huge crowd, right? And the roads, the infrastructure, the places will not be able to cater to it. So there is a need to further develop it, right? So that is what destination development is all about. Then skills and global promotion. Skill means developing the skill of the people or the industry to provide better facilities. And at the end, global promotion, very, very important. For example, see, we know about let's say our outskirts or the places in India to visit, right? You have, what are the places near Bengaluru to visit? Nandi Hills, for example. So we know about the Nandi Hills, we visited also, but specifically, does a foreigner know specifically about Nandi Hills? No. The fact that the sunrise is so beautiful over there, you should visit it, they don't know it. So what will happen is, we domestically, we will go and visit, but international tourism may not increase. So that is why it is important for us to promote these places also. We try to go to Switzerland, for example, because you have our snow over there, snowfall over there, but we have the same thing in Kashmir, we have the same thing in Himachal Pradesh, for example. So that also needs to be propagated. So these are the factors that it will talk about. In prelims, you can simply be asked a question with respect to it focuses on which of the following. So it focuses on these things, right? Now this is some data which can be really helpful for your mains examination also. So now here, what is this data? 20+ million international tourists arrivals have been there in India. 20+ million means more than 2 crore population from the world came into India. Now this looks as a massive number, correct? But you know Vietnam? Vietnam is a country. Vietnam has more than 2.5 crore people visiting it every year. A small country. The size is not as much as India. The geographical diversity, the climatic or environmental diversity is not that much. In India, you have deserts to visit. You have mountains to visit. You have beaches to visit. You have snow-clad mountains to visit. You have the evergreen forest, right, in the Western Ghats, etc. to visit. So you have all the kinds of flora, fauna, everything to visit. Plus you also have the charms of the mega cities and the development, for example in Bengaluru or in Mumbai, wherein you have the skyscrapers, etc. You have all things to visit, but yet in India 20 million people are visiting, and in a small country like Vietnam, it recorded, sorry, 21.2, not 25, 21.2, but it is still more than that of India. A small country is recording this number. So that means we still have a huge potential for the tourism, international tourism that we are talking about. Okay. Next, 3 lakh crore foreign exchange earnings have taken place. Now, how does this earning take place? So a simple example is, let's say you go from here to USA on a visit. So you will convert your Indian rupees into dollars. Why? Because you will require to spend dollars in the other country. Right? In the same manner, if a USA citizen wants to visit in India, they will have to spend in Indian rupees. So they will exchange the dollars for rupees. So our government, our Reserve Bank will earn dollars and they will give them the rupees. So that helps in foreign exchange earning to the tune of 3 lakh crore rupees were got in foreign exchange. So if you talk about in dollars, it should be 3 lakh crore divided by 90 will give you the number in dollars. Correct? Next, 3 billion domestic tourist visits were there. Approximately 3 billion. What is India's population? 1.45 billion. So let's take a rough figure of 1.5 billion. That means each individual has at least visited or been a tourist 2 times in the entire year. Right? So we are going from here to, let's say, Kerala to visit and to somewhere else to visit. So 3 billion domestic tourists have visited the place. Okay? Within India. Then you have now within tourism also there are multiple things. For example, there can be environmental tourism. You trying to visit a place with respect to the environment or environment conservation that you want to be a part of somewhere. Or there is a concept of medical tourism. Many people, they come into India for medical tourism. Medical tourism means they are coming for medical reasons, but it is also giving money in the tourism sector. Right? For example, see, in India you have big hospitals, so people from Bangladesh come to India because those facilities are not there. Kidney transplant, this transplant, liver transplant, so they come to India for that. Right? So they have to buy tickets, they have to spend money, they are as good as tourists, but medical tourism. Right? In the same manner, people want to undertake Ayurvedic treatment. So they come to especially the South Indian states, especially in Kerala, for example, for their Ayurvedic, or in anywhere else also in India, which we are famous for the Ayurvedic treatment. So they also come for the medical tourism. So if you look at medical tourism, 6.4 lakh medical tourists were there. So how do we get to know? The visas will be issued. So you will have to write the reason for the visit in the country. So you can identify which kind of tourism this is. Then you know e-medical and e-Ayush visas are available for 171 countries. That means for 171 countries, there is electronic medical and electronic Ayush visas available. Electronic medical visa means the tourist coming for medical purpose, treatment, operations. E-Ayush means with respect to the Ayush ministry, that is Ayurvedic, Unani, Ayurvedic, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, Homeopathy. That is what Ayush is. So if you want treatment in this one is going to be for allopathy, operation, etc. This is going to be for Ayurvedic, Yoga, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy, etc. Okay? So of course, all this basically strengthens India's capacity in the tourism sector. Okay? Now, let's look at the scheme. So Swadesh Darshan scheme from 1.0 to 2.0. So this 1.0 for the first time Swadesh Darshan scheme was started in 2014-15. Right? What is this scheme? Now, the 2.0 does not change much as such. It's just that new budget allocations, new destinations, new circuits would be developed. What was the scheme all about? The scheme is all about developing different circuits. Circuits means what? Okay, you have, let's say, you want to visit a country because of its culture. Let's say you are a devotee, a Buddhist who wants to visit places of significance to the Buddhist religion, right? So you would want to go to those kind of places. The Dhammachakra Parivartan took place, wherein the Buddhist the people converted into Buddhism, or maybe the birthplace of the Buddha. You would want to visit Bodh Gaya, you want to visit various things. So what the government does is, the government creates a circuit. This circuit, what is circuit? This. So you create a circuit connecting these points. So let's say these points are the important places for the Buddhist religion. So you are going to develop these places, because when an international tourist comes to India to visit Buddhist places, would want to go to all the important Buddhist places. So you develop this region, you develop this, you develop this, you develop this, and you develop this. And you create an entire circuit. So this scheme was based on the development of the thematic tourism circuit. For example, the Char Dham Yojana, the Char Dham pilgrimage that is there. So developing those Char Dham, the mini Char Dham that is there, right? Mini Char Dham itself is there in one state only, but if you talk about the major Char Dham, it is there in different states also. So you are developing those pilgrimage places also. It can be not necessarily only pilgrimage, it can be other places also. You find out a theme and you develop that circuit so that if someone wants to visit, they visit all that. So just an example, if I am a football fan and I go and visit United Kingdom, so I would want to visit the club that I support and any other club stadiums which might be there in the surrounding region. Right? So what you do, you develop a circuit which develops the areas around that football club. In the same manner, it can be related to any particular thing. This is what the scheme is all about. Now the new 2.0 scheme, now this which started in 2023, now this will be implemented on a mission mode. So here you have the destination centric approach, in which emphasis on sustainable and responsible tourism. See, this is one thing that now any scheme that you talk about, any development you talk about, the word sustainable is anyhow added over here, or responsible is also added over here. Why so? Because the population is increasing, you have to increase the number of people that are visiting also increasing. So of course it has to be sustainable. If it is not sustainable, the entire industry will collapse, because people will come and then they won't realize. Sustainable as in you are going to a place, you are leaving behind your mess, you are dirtying the place, it's not well kept, right? It's not sustainable, it cannot contain a lot of people. So next time you would not want to go, right? Now even the Nandi Hills that we are talking about, it becomes so crowded, right? But so because of that, many people like, yaar, it's so crowded. So if I go on a weekday, on weekends it's so crowded. But if you develop roads, different connecting points, etc., it's developed further, so more people can go, it can cater to the more people as well. So that is the entire point of it. Infrastructure plus services, right? Creating infrastructure of the region. If the roads are kacha road, you need to convert it into pakka roads. There needs to be places for residing, there needs to be washrooms, etc. Everything that needs to be present, it's all a part of that. Then it is aligned with, this is also important, aligned with vocal for local and Atmanirbhar Bharat. Vocal for local means you would want to use the skill sets, or the people should be given jobs who are the localites. For example, the raw materials that are using should be sourced from the local region only. So that also helps, and that helps in Atmanirbhar Bharat. People become independent. That is of course a good thing. Next, the challenges. Now the challenge based destination development. Challenge based means you can have a healthy competition among the different places in different states to compete with each other to give award to the best circuit which generates, let's say, the highest revenue or the highest amount of tourism. How does it help? It helps you to compete so that people give their best. A simple thing is, if you are running alone a 400-meter race, you may take 1 minute to complete it. But if you are competing with someone else who's running at 59 seconds, you might end up running in 58 seconds. Why? Because you're pushing yourself, because there is a competition. Based on that principle, it comes up with a challenge-based destination development, which is nothing but the competitive outcome-based model, where there will be healthy competition among the different states to develop certain circuits in that region. Okay. Next, under this Swadesh Darshan scheme, there is one PM Juga Yojana also, which is included, or Abhiyan, PM Janjatiya Unnat Gram Abhiyan. Janjatiya basically talking about the tribals. Unnati means progress. So Unnat means here progress. So the progress of the tribals. Gram means of course rural. Abhiyan of course means a mission. So this is the rural tribal progress mission. This is Janjatiya Unnat Gram Abhiyan. Here what they are doing is, see, let's say you go to a Western Ghat, so there you will have this secluded kind of places, not much of the urbanization, etc. It's in the rural area, surrounded by forest. Then there will be resorts, etc., where you will stay. Now, those resorts are developed in the forest area. Now, you know that in forest area, a lot of tribals also live. So, what is going to happen is, under this scheme, there will be integration. So, these tribals also are going to provide hospitality services to the tourists that are coming in. You have the scene of Airbnb. So let's say, see, I am right now here in Bengaluru, but I have a house in Nagpur. So I can put that house on Airbnb. Now what will happen? Someone wants to stay in Nagpur, they can book my house as a place of residence like a hotel, right? And they can live there, they can pay me, and then they can leave. In the same manner, the tribals are already residing in the forest, so they can help in providing the hospitalities, the place of residence, and various services to the people who are coming, whether domestically or internationally, in this place as a tourist. So what will happen? Tribal livelihood enhancement will take place because of this. It promotes the tribal homestays. You're doing homestay in a tribal house that is there. Cultural tourism, community participation, and that itself is a good kind of cultural tourism wherein you get to learn, know about the different cultures that are also there. Okay. Next, under this only, the Prasad scheme. So what we are discussing, the tourism initiative of infrastructure. So Prasad is what? Prasad is specifically linked with pilgrimage. So it is pilgrimage rejuvenation and spiritual heritage augmentation drive. So under this scheme, there will be the pilgrimage places that are going to be developed by the government, so that people are inclined and it can cater to more number of people over there. Now see, we have constructed the Ram temple, Ram Mandir that was constructed. Now subsequent to the construction of the Ram temple, when it was, or Ram Mandir, when it was opened, there was huge influx of the devotees in that place. But many people complained, and rightly so, because the facilities were not good. They were saying to just have the darshan of Lord Ram, we have to, get down from the vehicle kilometers and kilometers away and then walk completely, and there are no connections over there, this, that, everything. So it requires that we also develop the region that is around the Ram Mandir, so that it can cater to more number of people, so that more number of people go there, have darshan, and that is what? That can also, so like this, other religious places, other temples, other places will also be developed in order to promote tourism in India, right? Next, this MICE, tourism and global positioning. So this MICE is basically, you can say, an approach or a technique wherein you talk about this, which is a global positioning, in which you talk about first meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. Okay, what is this? By this also you promote tourism. How do you promote? So if you have, let's say, international conferences taking place in India, doesn't it promote tourism? It does promote tourism. People from other countries coming over in India for science conferences, for XYZ conferences, cultural exchanges, student exchanges taking place. So conferences are there. If there is an international exhibition, people will come to India, showcase their product. People will come from abroad, showcase their product, and that will also lead to tourism. Meetings of different organizations, international organizations. For example, we hosted the G20 summit. So what do you see? The entire Mumbai, there was this, that, cleanliness, everything was there. So it also helps. That is what it is talking about. The MICE strategy. Okay. Is that clear, guys? So this was our first topic. Any questions in the first topic? Nothing? Let's move on to the next. the Gati Shakti cargo portal. So as I mentioned, Gati Shakti is a platform wherein you can directly check the progress of the different infrastructure projects that are there. You can manage them to ensure that they are being conducted or implemented effectively with no delays. Now we have come up with the Gati Shakti cargo terminals that is there. Now this Gati Shakti cargo terminal is going to help us to improve efficiency. It is going to help us to improve efficiency. Now, how are we going to improve the efficiency? Let us understand that. So, let's say this is the area where the Gati Shakti cargo terminal is being developed. That means the cargo is going to come, the shipment, it can be through any means. It comes, let's say it is coming through train. Train is also used, railway is used for cargo. So, the railway brings in the cargo and it is unloaded over here. But the last mile connectivity is not there for railways. Whether you talk about the transportation through shipping route, through airways, through railways, it does not give you the last mile connectivity. At the end of the day, for last mile connectivity, you have to use roads. Now, if you are constructing a Gati Shakti cargo terminal over here, so what will happen? The train comes here, unloads the material over here. Now, what is the importance of this then? You can unload anywhere. But the thing is, the government is going to identify strategic locations wherein the cargo unloading is huge. And what is the actual development is not just this Gati Shakti cargo terminal, but the area around it. That is the important development. Area around it means there needs to be connecting roads, dedicated freight corridors to different regions so that this cargo can be dispersed off in a smoother and faster manner. Is that clear? Now, in this, there is one more interesting thing that we have to talk about, which is this engine on load system is the principle that we will be following. Now, this engine on load system will help increase efficiency. Now, how will it help increase the efficiency? See, the train that brings in the cargo also takes the cargo back, right? So, for example, if I want to send my vehicle from here to Nagpur, so I go to the railway station, it gets packed, it gets transported into that railway. It goes to Nagpur, the same train reaches Nagpur. Now, does the train come back empty? No. Someone wants to send something from Nagpur back to Bengaluru, so it brings something else also there. So, when the train reaches Nagpur, it unloads my vehicle and it loads someone else's vehicle who was supposed to come here. And it need not necessarily be vehicle, it can be something else also, some other equipment also. The idea is the railway that is coming, bringing in the cargo is also the railway that is going to take away the cargo. So, there are certain things that takes place. First is unloading that will take place. And second is loading that will take place. Correct? Now both take time. So what is being done as of now majorly is you have the train, the cargo train. So these are the cargo boxes that are connected with each other, right? And then here you basically have the engine that is bringing that cargo. This is known as the locomotive, the engine that moves, right? So what happens is basically the train comes here, the locomotive is detached from here, right? And the locomotive goes under a shed and it is remaining there. It will nicely get unloaded and then it will nicely get loaded. This entire process is going to take a lot of time, right? Now we want to follow a process known as engine on load system. Engine on load system means you will not detach this engine. You will let this engine be attached only. You have to immediately unload it and immediately load it and the engine goes back again. Is that clear? Many times when you go to railway station, you find the cargo train is lying there. It's not moving only since half an hour. Other trains are coming and go. Why? Because it's not unloaded. and the track is also completely occupied, and it takes a lot of time also. But this engine still being attached is going to put a pressure on you to work more efficiently and to reduce the turnaround time. What is the turnaround time? Is the time required for the engine when it reaches here to unload, reload, and then turn around. Turn around as in it can either go back or it can go forward. Turn around means going back again. So it will reduce our turnaround time as well. Okay, is that clear? Now, there are certain factual things. For example, the key Gati Shakti cargo terminals. So one is in Manesar, Haryana. It is India. So please read these facts from the magazine also. India's largest automobile terminal. Capacity of 4.5 lakh vehicles per year. Vehicles getting uploaded on the freight. How do you think that Maruti will have production in different places? But it does not have in every state. It does not have in every city. So how is the vehicle coming over here? Okay. Then you have Assam's Moinarband and Chinnamara to strengthen Northeast trade. Fair enough. So there are certain CGTs, that is Gati Shakti Cargo Terminal. Please read about them. This is about the key Gati Shakti cargo portals and the progress. So if you talk about progress, 306 have been approved, 118 have been commissioned. Commission means they have been finalized to start the working. Commission means they have basically started operation. Right? So there is still a lot, close to 200 are still going to be operated in the coming days. Capacity is 192 million tons per annum. This specifically is not important. This is an important information which can say that less than half of them have been commissioned. So a huge capacity is going to come. Logistics ecosystem, if you talk about, India's logistics index has improved. The World Bank comes up with the logistics performance index, according to which in 2014 we were 54, in 2022 we reached a number 38. Now India is having a plan that by 2030 we should reach 25th rank. Is that clear? Logistics performance index. This logistics performance index. Next, challenges. Of course, there will be challenges. First, it requires huge amount of money. Second, high logistics cost versus developed economies. So India is already having a high logistics cost. Developed economies are not having that much. The reason is India is not automated that much. So what happens in India is it takes too much of time. When it takes too much of time, the capacity reduces. So let's say, for example, you have a port. So a ship comes. Now you would have seen the photos of the ships that are there, on which there are so many boxes that are loaded on that ship, right? These boxes that are loaded on that ship. Huge boxes. This box will be bigger than this classroom, right? And the ship will be hundreds of meters long. That ship comes in the port, and when the ship comes on the port, you have to unload it and you have to reload something else, and then you have to send it back. That's known as the turnaround time. For India, the fastest port that is there, it has a turnaround time which is higher than the average turnaround time of the entire world. Okay? So that is how slow we are. We are requiring 1.5 days as turnaround time. The lowest we have is approximately 1 day of turnaround time. Whereas ports in Hong Kong and other places are doing that in hours. Now why this is happening is because when the ship comes, yes, as I talked about automation, yes. So when the ship comes, it has these boxes over here. Now what happens over here is there will be a crane that will come. It will have different attachments to it. There will be a person who will climb. There will be someone who will lower it. The person will attach that hook over. If you look at the top view of the box, the person will attach a hook here, attach a hook here, a hook here, a hook here. Give a go ahead. It goes. It takes up one of the boxes. It requires good number of minutes to do that. Now you have 100 boxes on that ship, right? So if you are taking 10 minutes also for that ship, you require 1000 minutes of functioning to just do that particular thing. So 1000 minutes means close to 16-17 hours. Then you also have to load it also, another 1000 minutes. So that is 1.5 days is what you require. Why are others able to do faster? It's mechanized. It is having magnetic levitation. It is having electromagnetism. Electromagnetism means there will be a clamp like situation, you lower it and start the magnetism, it attaches it and you simply lift it. You don't need anyone to be present over here to attach this hook, bolt it, unbolt it. All those things are not required. You attach it, lift it, place it, bring it another, attach it. So these kind of automations is not happening in India as such. We need it to happen. So that is why this entire process which we have talked about. So what is the way forward? Way forward is to fast track the projects, to improve the last mile connectivity. Again, very important. Railways is bringing in the freight. The ships are bringing in the freight. But the last mile connectivity is costly. The roadways is the costliest transportation system. So all that needs to be included. A single window and digital clearances should be given to certain projects. This can fasten the pace of the projects. Okay. Next is the MS Sahu Committee for National Pension Reforms or the New Pension Scheme Reforms. Okay. Any idea about old and new pension schemes? Okay. See, the major difference between this is, let us see. So your old pension scheme that was there, you had certainty of pension. Okay? That means you are an employee who's eligible for pension. You exactly know how much pension you are going to get. And part of it is given to you in a lump sum way. Part of it keeps on coming to you on a monthly basis. You know that you are going to get, let's say, 1/3 of your last drawn salary, whatever it is. That is what you are going to get in the old pension scheme. Now, so the government provides you this. Now what the government started doing is, in the new pension scheme, the government linked your pension to the market, right? So you have your pension fund, the provident fund, everything that is there, which was kept in it. You get the thing when you withdraw it, when you get retired. Now the government uses this money to invest in the market, right? Now since the government is using this money to invest in the market, they are trying to give you also benefit. What benefit? Your return on your pension, partly, they have not linked your entire pension in the new scheme completely, but part of your pension is linked to the market. So if the government's investment in the market performs well, you will get high pension. If it does not perform well, you will get low pension. So part of your pension is linked to market, part of your pension is fixed. Fixed one you get as it is, linked one you get as per the market. So there is a possibility that you will end up getting more pension than what you would have got if it was the old pension scheme. But the issue is, the certainty is not there, the risk is involved. So you might as well end up getting less. And pension is a social security. It is used for the old age when you are not working generally, right? So certainty here becomes very important, right? That is why many people want this new pension scheme to return back to the old pension scheme. That means, what do they want? They want certainty of the pension. We don't get extra benefit, forget it, we don't want it. Just ensure that we get this much of amount. Again, conservative nature of we Indians, and rightly so, because we want more surety in it. So to review that, the MS Sahu Committee for NPS reforms have been constituted. This committee is going to see what impact did it take, did it benefit or did it not, what the future of this new pension scheme holds. So it will recommend that should we continue this, or should we link the entire pension to market, or should we not link any part of the pension to market, or should we keep it the same. All those recommendations will be given by the MS Sahu committee. Is that clear? So who has constituted this committee? PFRDA, Provident Fund Regulatory and Development Authority of India. It is the regulatory body for your provident fund and stuff. So it has constituted a high level committee for designing framework for assured and guaranteed paid out under the NPS. Okay? See, and they have given certain objectives. Address the post-retirement income certainty, because that is what the issue the people are facing now. I hope that is clear. Any questions in this?
Pensions were allowed for working age population.
Working age? If I am pension allowed for working age, here not even working age, even outside working age is allowed. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. The statement is correct. We'll come to this. Under this, so this is some detail about it. You should know the new pension scheme, when it was introduced. Okay? If you talk about the working age, so we have the NPS Vatsalya scheme. So it is also there for non-working age group as well. This Vatsalya scheme is for children, right? So how can children earn pension? Their parents are going to save some amount in the Vatsalya scheme for their children. So when they grow up, they can utilize that fund. Is that clear? So now, why will they do that? Because see, this is one thing in a manner that you save something, some money for your children. Second thing is also, when you save that money, it earns interest. The government of India gives you around 8.3% of interest. If you invested in fixed deposit, you won't get that much of interest. So that is also a positive thing, and it basically generates a attitude towards saving for the future. But one more thing, remember, it also gives huge amount of money in the hand of the government, right, for decades and years to come, which they can utilize. Okay, that is also there. So the money will come under the market and it can be invested. So eligibility and contribution. So Indian citizens including NRIs, non-resident Indians, OCIs, overseas citizens of India below the age of 18 years. So minors are going to be the sole beneficiary over here. Minimum contribution is 250 rupees per year. No upper limit gifting is, no upper limit means there is no upper limit for this. You can save 1 lakh also per year. That's not a problem. Okay? This is Vatsalya Yojana. Any questions, guys? Per year. Yes, very small amount, minimum 250 per year, so that the people who earn less also can save it. But there is no upper limit, na? So if you are rich, you can also save it as such. Okay? And anyhow, the people from middle class, lower middle class will look for, trying to save something, social security. People who are filthy rich, do you think Ambanis, Adanis are going to subscribe to this Yojana? Absolutely not. So that is the idea. Next is the tax ramps scheme. Now, of course, Ministry of Textiles is involved here. This tax ramps is, tax stands for textile. So it is a textile focused research, assessment, monitoring, planning and startup scheme. So how to remember this? The idea is it consists of basically everything. Research and development, assessment, monitoring of the project that is going on, planning of it, subsidizing or incentivizing the startups that are there. Now, why it is being done? See, if you consider the textile sector, India is a top player in the textile sector, but we are getting tough competition from Bangladesh and Vietnam. Why? Their people work at dirt cheap price. 50 rupees the person is working for the entire day in inhuman condition. So they construct or they create textile even more cheaply than what we do. So there is a lot of focus on this textile. So this scheme basically consists of anything and everything with respect to the textile sector. Now this scheme is a central sector scheme, fully funded by Ministry of Textiles involved. Central sector scheme means a scheme which is fully funded by the central government. Centrally sponsored scheme will have contribution of the state as well, right? Now these are some of the financial assistance funding pattern. 12 lakh per year to each state and union territory, 1 lakh per year per district would be provided for developing these things. Now in this textile, if you talk about, there is a concept of technical textile. What is technical textile? See, when you go to buy an attire, what do you check? You check how does it look, appearance, the color. It should look good, it should suit you, those things. But in technical textile, the looks and all are secondary in nature. So then what is the primary thing? The primary thing is performance. The primary thing is performance. Not just quality, it's the performance. So why it's slightly different? Of course, when I go for a shirt, of course I look for quality. But again, it is just to look good, appear good. In technical textile, performance is important because after wearing that, you might be playing a sport, for example, right? So you have an attire, a swimsuit is a technical textile. It will be water resistant, it will help you perform, it will be aerodynamically designed. The goggles that you wear for swimming, it is aerodynamically designed as well as it is in a manner that it closes everything. So performance is more important. Color is secondary over there. Performance is the primary thing over there. So any textile which is more important with respect to its performance and is used in either engineering, in sports and all these fields for someone to perform better, that is a technical textile, right? Okay. Yes, any questions, guys? Now let's look at a very interesting report, that is the World Economic Forum's Global Risk Report 2026. This is the 21st edition. Very recently it has been released in the beginning of the year at itself. Now I'll not show you this, we are going to come. Now if I ask you, what do you think is the biggest risk to the world? Biggest risk to the world? Climate change. That's it. That's the biggest risk. There is genocide that is going on. There is war that is going on. There is conflict that is going on. Russia-Ukraine conflict, Palestine-Israel genocide or whatever you may call it. Iran has bombed Israel. Then USA has bombed Iran. That is going on. And what do you think now the biggest threat to the world is? So basically, of course, environment is also there and they have mentioned it. Geopolitics is also an issue. This or war is what? Geopolitics. Okay? The genocide is the outcome of that geopolitics, but geopolitics is also going to be involved. So let us look at this. So global risk outlook. So they have come up with immediate outlook and long term. Immediate means 2 to 3 years. Long term would mean 10 years and beyond. So 10 years and beyond, environmental climate change is first. But immediate, geo-economic confrontation. Geopolitical, geo-economic confrontation. Next, misinformation, disinformation, societal polarization, extreme weather events. It's coming at 4th. Okay? If you look at long term, extreme weather events is the long term. Biodiversity loss is the long term. Critical change into Earth system is the long term. And where is geopolitics? It's not there. It's an urgent issue which may not be there 10 years later. Either way, either things are resolved or we destroy each other. Okay, by that time. So this is the, so you need to know at least the top 3 immediate and long term with respect to the world. And then there is risk to India. What is the highest risk to India? What can be the highest risk for India? What the report says is the highest risk is in India is the cyber security. So for India, the cyber security, it seems, is posing the highest amount of risk. right? Second is income and wealth inequality. Okay? So this is first, this is second. Other major risks are insufficient public services and social protection, economic downturn, state-based armed conflict, terrorism, proxy wars, etc. are the other risks that are there. Okay? So this is India's outlook. Remember, cyber security is the first one. Okay? Yes. Clear? No. Major risk drivers for India. Now, this cyber security risk for India is basically a systemic risk. Now, we need to understand the concept of systemic risk. Systemic risk means this cyber security is not a risk in the sense that this laptop gets hacked and there is some issue, it is hacked, it is frozen and it cannot work. It's not that. Systemic risk means there is a risk of cyber attack which can destroy the systems that are present in the entire country. So it may attack the central system, the central servers, etc., the data that would be there. So it is going to destroy. If this cyber attack takes place, the entire system gets destroyed. Of course, still some of the equipment may still function, but the idea is it is going to have a huge impact. So whenever it has a impact on the entire system, it's known as a systemic impact. Right? So if I say there is going to be a systemic impact in UPSC aspirant's life, so if I'm saying systematic impact, that means only one student will not be impacted. The entire UPSC aspirant fraternity will be impacted. That is what I'm trying to say. Okay? So that is the idea of systemic impact. Next is the second one was inequality. So inequality is something which is a risk multiplier. How is inequality a risk multiplier? See, if there is inequality, there are people who are rich, there are people who are very poor. When the people who are very poor, now people who are rich are also facing climate change, people who are poor are also facing climate change. Which will have more impact? The people who are poor. Right? Climate change is there, extremity of weather is there. In Nagpur, the weather goes to 47, 48 degrees Celsius. A poor is on the street with no house, nothing, dying out of sunstroke, heat wave. A rich is inside in its AC room, nicely enjoying it, reducing more greenhouse gases and harming the environment more. So inequality can be a multiplier of the risk. If you are socio-economically backward, the risk can be more on you. Is that clear? So it acts as a risk multiplier. Then the third is weak public services. That means weak public services means the government provides free or cheap medicine, let's say healthcare facilities, education. That is very weak in India. If you talk about health spending, it's 1.9% of the GDP. The target, it's well below the target of 2.5% of the GDP. Social protection scheme, if you talk about 5% of GDP is what we are spending. Global average is around 13% of the GDP. Okay? Yes. Way forward is, of course, we need to strengthen our resilience with respect to cyber security, with respect to inequality. We need to address it. We need to be more equitable distribution needs to take place. All those things is what we have to provide. Any questions, guys, in any of these topics? You have understood everything? Is it clear? Chalo. So you will be able to solve the questions now? Surely. So let us try to solve the questions. First question, with reference to Swadesh Darshan 2.0, consider the following statements. First statement, it follows a destination-centric approach rather than a circuit-based approach. Next, it integrates tourism infrastructure development with skill development and destination management. See, right now, any scheme that is coming, it is having a lot of integrations. So if you have to guess, I'm telling you, but yes. Next, third, it is implemented as a centrally sponsored scheme. No, it is implemented as a central sector scheme. So 3 becomes wrong. So the correct option is A, 1 and 2 only. Next, consider the following features of Gati Shakti cargo terminals. 1. Integration of rail freight with road, port and airport connectivity. Yes, I told you everything else will also be developed. Use of engine load system to reduce turnaround time. Yes, it will be attached only. So 1 is correct, 2 is correct. So this is gone, but still 3 options are left. Third, preference for road transport to ensure last mile connectivity. What? I think this we did not discuss. What do you think? Preference to road transport. Preference to road transport is not given as such. Road transport is basically the costliest transport as such. So what they are going to do is, when let's say the shipment comes, so this is our border, so the shipment comes on this shore, right? So from here, if it wants to go here, you will not directly put it through road, right? You have inland waterways. Inland waterways is one of the cheapest way. So what you will do is, when it comes here, last mile connectivity is still not there. You still need to travel, let's say 200 kilometers for last mile connectivity. So you first transfer those 160, 170 kilometers through the inland waterways, and then the remaining one might be transported through the roadways. Or you can use the railways also to transfer, and then you can have, so the last mile connectivity is also this with respect to international cargo. Okay? So as such, special emphasis or focus on road sector is not there. Road sector is anyhow, last mile connectivity is anyhow, it is used to a huge extent, right? So it's not that we want to challenge it, but as such, preference as such is not there. Next, question number 3. The MS Sahu committee constituted by PFRDA is primarily tasked with what? A. Replacing the national pension system with the old pension system. How is it correct? Okay, chali, let's look at this. Design legally enforceable market-based guaranteed payout structures. See, this is what people want. Yes, but it is there to review that system. By reviewing, ensuring that some amount is still guaranteed to you, or more amount is guaranteed to you, or how can we guarantee you the other thing. So it is not to replace. If you want to replace, you will already replace and try to go back to the old system or formulate. So it is going to come up with its recommendation. So to say that replace the national pension with the old pension scheme, if you want to replace, you can simply come up with an act and replace it, executive order and replace it. So replacement as such is not there, right? C. Regulating pension fund managers under the PFRDA Act, no. Implementing the unified pension scheme across all states, no. It is going to design legally enforceable market-based guaranteed payout. It is going to focus on the guaranteed payouts of the people, which has been an issue for the people under NPS. Next, with reference to the tax ramp scheme, consider the following statements. First, it aims to strengthen textile-related data systems and research for evidence-based policy making. What do you think about that? Yes. See, when you say that there is research and development, it will have a lot of things. In research, will you never use any data? Of course, you will use. In the magazine, you will read in detail, but even generally, you have to understand this. Second, it covers subsectors such as handlooms, handicrafts, apparel, and technical textiles. I told you, yes, it covers that. It is implemented as a centrally sponsored scheme aligned with the 15th Finance Commission. That is also correct. Huh? It is aligned with the 15th Finance Commission. It is implemented. No, it is not implemented as a centrally sponsored scheme. Okay? So 1 and 2. Correct. Good. It is, however, aligned with 15th Finance Commission. This is a completely central sector scheme implemented by the Ministry of Textile completely. Okay? The last one. According to the World Economic Forum Global Risks Report 2026, which of the following has been identified as the biggest risk for India in 2026? Cyber security threat. So this you have to factually remember. If you don't remember it factually, you can make mistakes. So this is something which you have to remember factually, because we might have not thought before telling you, before even reading the report, I would have also not thought that cyber security would be our major risk. It is our major risk. All right, guys. Any other questions? Any questions? Yes. Huh. In first question. Circuit, yes. So now they are focusing on destination centric. So circuit is being developed. Now that circuit is developed, now it's based on the destination where the people will be coming more. So the idea is, instead of developing this circuit that is there, it's focused on one single element of destination based approach. ठीक है, चलो. But the name will still remain thematic circuits only. But the focus is the destination now, where the major influx will be there. Okay. So in here, because if it is a circuit, you develop this also, this also, this also. But in this, you are focusing on destination. So you develop this, you develop this, you develop this, you develop this. Right? Not the connectivity is not the focus. Now the destination is the focus, wherein people will stay. The people going from one destination to other destination, that has already been taken care of. Now that place of destination will be developed. Okay? Thank you.